Of this Leaving a Legacy segment. Here's Leroy Dedman.
Do you enjoy serving others? In most of the places where I've lived, I've been a member of a local civic club. It's provided me an avenue through which I was able to meet folks from the business community, which I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity otherwise. But I was very careful not to let this become an unequal yoke or become a hindrance to my service to God. But while living in Bremen, Georgia, I was a member of the Lions Club. And one of their projects was the sale of mops and brooms door to door. And I remember one hot August day, we all met at this particular subdivision, and each of us took all the mops and brooms we could place on our shoulders, and we picked a street. And my street was rather hilly. And as I walked up and down those hills, going to the doors of the houses, my clothes became wet with perspiration. My glasses fogged so bad I had to remove them. And a young boy was riding his bicycle, and he kept passing by me. He'd go down the hill, up the hill, turn around and come back. Finally, he stopped and said, "Are you having fun, mister?" Well, I thought for a moment as I was almost out of breath, and I reminded myself of why I was doing it. "Yes, son," I said, "I am having fun. Because you see, every time I sell a mop or a broom, I'm providing some young person the ability to see or to have a pair of glasses which he might not otherwise be able to receive." Well, I suppose the best cure for selfishness is service. And this helps us to understand the Apostle Paul in Galatians 5:13. Through love, serve one another. And also in that brief glimpse of the judgment we're given in Matthew chapter 25 of Matthew, we're reminded of those who were told, "Depart from me," because they did it not. Or those who were told, "Come unto me, ye blessed," because you did it. The idea behind that was, you had done it not unto me, or you have done it unto me. When we think about that, we're reminded of the Apostle Paul on the road to Damascus when he asked the question, "Who art thou, Lord?" And Jesus said, "I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom thou persecutest." Well, Paul could have said, "Well, Lord, I haven't persecuted you." But he had, because he was persecuting Christians. And when we think of that, we realize that when we mistreat God's people today, we're really mistreating the Lord. And the way you treat the Lord's church is the way you treat him. Jesus added strength to this conclusion in John chapter 13, verses 34 and 35. "A new commandment I give to you," he said, "that you love one another as I have loved you." Well, you might say at first, that's not a new commandment. Love one another, that's been told before. We've heard it before. But he said, love one another as I have loved you. What he'd just done, he had washed their feet. We might say, well, you know, he died for us. But he hadn't died when he made that statement. And we know that the apostles did not understand all about the death, burial, and resurrection, because they even asked questions about that before he ascended in Acts 1. "Lord, will you at this time restore the kingdom to Israel?" So when we think about all of that, we realize that service to one another is that love that is seen by the community. I remember at one time in our lives we attended a foot washing church, but Dad decided that's not for us. One thing I remember in a discussion about it was that they only washed one foot, and that foot was not dirty. They certainly saw the need for having the foot clean before it's washed. Well, Jesus was not establishing an item of worship to be done in our assembly, but rather a way of life for each of us as we serve him. We all need to become feet washers in our service to one another.